What's going on, guys? This is Carl with the RacerRed channel. Out here riding the MT-09 Yamaha. Tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up and ride to Mount Rushmore and Pikes Peak. I've got it all set up with a tank bag, front windscreen, and I've got a rear rack put on this thing. That way my passenger doesn't have to wear a backpack, which can be pretty fatiguing, so it should be pretty nice. But I'm going to put some serious miles on this tomorrow. I just installed a new rear tire as well, or I had one installed, I should say. I don't like to do street bike tires, or not sport bike tires at least. I can do dirt bike tires all day long and dual sport stuff, but when it comes to big street bike tires, I try to steer clear. So I've been riding off and on, not as much as I should, but I have been riding a little bit. I just haven't been making videos. I would have put out a video here recently, but I made a trip to Idaho City and the riding portion of it was cut short because of a flat front tire. During the Silver Mountain race, I actually had an extremely flat front tire the entire time, and I just thought it was because conditions are horrible there anyways, but apparently my front tire was completely falling off the rim. So anyway, I noticed it was flat before I even loaded it in the truck, but I figured it was a slow leak or something. Filled it up once I got to Idaho City, and no bueno. It held air for approximately 10 seconds. I've been planning this trip for a little bit. I've been wanting to go back to Mount Rushmore. I've never been to Pikes Peak, so that should be an adventure. I know that a lot of people don't really enjoy the street bike content as much, but I really love riding street bikes as well as dirt bikes, so I'm going to be on the street bike all this week. So I'm going to be making a lot of videos with my street bike, and I'm going to be mixing dirt bike videos with those. Completely different experience riding a street bike though. You can go from a dirt bike to a street bike and you are automatically an excellent street bike rider. But if you go from a street bike to a dirt bike, you might as well have never ridden a motorcycle in your life. You can't go from the street to the dirt because the dynamics are so different. But going from the dirt to the street, you're actually a way better street bike rider than most on the street if you do that. Because a dirt bike rider has so much to contend with compared to a street bike rider on a daily basis. A dirt bike rider is in a constant state of sliding and maneuvering. The whole bike is moving, and you have to learn how to operate it in the most extreme conditions. Street biking is the complete opposite. You can ride a street bike barely even knowing how to ride one. I mean, you can just let out the clutch and it grips perfectly. You can swerve back and forth. There's no way I could do this on the dirt. You can swerve back and forth. You stick perfectly to this pavement. It's just a beautiful thing. It's really cool. So, but what I am talking about is really the reason why I think a lot of people do wreck on the street, because they don't know how to ride, but they are riding on the street. I've seen a lot of it. Unfortunately, you can't really blame people either. I mean, they don't know any better. That movie, Sully, with the airplane pilot, he landed it in that river, and that guy, a friend of the family flies, and he was talking about how that guy can actually fly the plane, whereas, you know, most people don't know how to fly the plane. They know computer skills and things like that, but Sully actually knew the whole dynamic of flight, because he would do hang gliding apparently and similar things, so that he really knew how that all worked from a manual flight perspective, as opposed to just working some buttons on a computer. And apparently you can be a pilot just working some buttons on a computer, which I didn't know. So that's kind of how street biking is. You can learn how to operate one technically, technically speaking, you can learn how to operate it and ride it and probably pass the minimum courses for the government and be out here on the street and be completely dangerous and out of control. Those new street bike riders that people are looking into getting a street bike, if you're one of those people that's out of control, especially like if you try riding dirt bikes and you are just a bit wild, if you're just like not in control and you're not able to focus enough to really take your time and learn how to ride properly, don't get in a rush and go to the street. Don't do that. I mean, you're just going to do the same thing in the street, but you aren't allowed to crash on the street. If you crash on the street, you're dead. Whereas on a dirt bike, you can crash all day long, usually. I would say usually you get pretty hurt, but not dead. I'll put it that way. It's almost nighttime. I better turn around. I'm not too opposed to riding at night, but I really don't want to right now. I've got to get all of my stuff ready for this trip. And time is of the essence to get everything ready. I've got to get my clothes ready. This tank bag right here is totally empty right now. I've got to get that fixed. I've got to get it filled up with stuff. I was just thinking about the time that we have and the time that we have to get things done that we want to do. And somebody was mentioning to me that, you know, the older you get, the less you want to do, which seems messed up, and I know it's true, but also the faster time flies because your perspective changes. It's crazy to me every time I start thinking about this topic, because time is the most valuable thing. And you say that and it sounds so dumb. I mean, it sounds so cliche, but time is the most valuable thing, and you cannot buy it. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire or trillionaire, you can't buy time. But it's crazy to me to think of people who are like in their 80s, 90s, and who have a ton of money and this never stopped working. And it's totally awesome that they did that, and especially if that's what they really enjoyed. If they really enjoyed making that money, then that's what I'm talking about. Like, good job. But I'm talking about kind of the opposite of that, where they're chasing something that they can't obtain, and they spend their whole life at that. They end up doing something they hate. So most people are trying to get the next thing, like a jet boat, a new car, a freaking 3-story house, a tower of leaning cheese, donuts, a pile of donuts that they have a lifetime supply of. I don't know, whatever it is. I would say most people are chasing that so hard, and it's beneath them to live in a small house. It has become beneath them. And to me, it's like the complete opposite. That's all the exhaust. He's got a blown engine he's running around with. Uncle Buck just drove by. I didn't know an engine could actually be that bad. Oh my gosh, he went downtown like that. You can see all the smoke down there. Well, I missed most of it. I couldn't get my camera to turn on.